Hey, what's up guys? Gons here for the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. Hashtag Avo Secrets. Avocados from Mexico, Big Game 2017 commercial, Secret Society. Now, part of the plan, the game here, is to make a mockery of realities, right? And make fun of it so as to get people to stay distracted from the real stuff that's going on. Now, I haven't even hit play yet, and already you have people in robes coming in with masks. You have the obelisk sitting in the middle here, and it's sitting on the all-seeing eye triangle that's illuminated. There's a banner back here with a triangle that's illuminated. It has 3 keys inside. Now, interestingly, Kabbalists believe in the 2 keys, and you've probably seen the symbol of 2 keys that are crossed. It's used in many coat of arms across Europe and England, and according to this website here, the official view is that the crossed keys represent the keys of heaven that were entrusted to Simon Peter by Jesus. And the symbol here is obviously different from the one in the video. This is 2 keys crossed over, whereas the video shows 3 keys in succession making a triangle. And I'm sure there's probably more to it than that. I can't dig into every little detail. It's kind of pointless to a degree. I point out the things I point out because even though it's supposed to be a mockery, they're flat out saying and showing you what they do. But they hide it behind the veneer of humor and comedy. Now down here, there's a little symbol on the base of the obelisk, 6EQUJS. And if you Google that, you get a few different things here. So the wow signal was something that happened on August 15th, 1977. A strong narrowband radio signal was received by Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope in the United States, then assigned to a SETI project. So there you have it. There's your connection to celestial events being recorded at Ohio State University back in 1977. And SETI, of course, is the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. So now we know 6EQUJS, or 5, which is that wow signal from space, which is written on the base of this obelisk. So look, folks, hiding in plain sight, it's a real thing. And now they're just being really, really blatant because there have been so many things that have come out on who these people are, what they're doing, what they believe. And let me tell you, folks, it's literally the dark side. They worship Lucifer. They believe that Lucifer is the light, the knowledge giver. They take the Garden of Eden story and they flip it completely around and say that Yahweh was the evil God who imprisoned Adam and Eve, but Lucifer was the one that gifted humanity with knowledge and freedom from the Garden of Eden, this prison, right? So again, everything is flipped. Okay, so there's your music. You have these guys in robes. They have their masks. You have the all-seeing eye motif in the background in the stained glass. Then up here you have the golden throne, which has what looks like a lion face on one side, human face on the other. There's motifs or connections to Mars and Sidonia with some of this, and you can look at David Flynn's work to get some of that. And then up here, MDCCXX. And if you look it up, MDCCXX is 1720. Now the year 1720 is a very interesting year. But before I dive into some of the things that I discovered about the year 1720, let's let it be known that there's a whole hashtag and a promotion behind this. Avo Secrets, you have the iPhone, you have the motif logo with the avocado inside. I know there's been avocado ads before that has to do with the Illuminati and the occult and stuff like that. I know that's not new, but there are some interesting beliefs about avocados and the avocado tree from the perspective of magic and the occult. And again, I don't believe these things to be true, but the practitioners do believe it. And ultimately, I think it is a distortion of handling God's creation. But according to certain occultic and Wiccan views, the magical avocado tree has a gender which is feminine, the planet Venus, which is interesting if you track what's going on in the heavens, the element of water, power, love, lust, beauty, deities, Thoth, which has a long history back to Egypt, who was actually a deity that eventually became Hermes Trismegistus, where we get Hermeticism, Seshat, and Osiris. Now, Osiris makes sense that we see an obelisk in this commercial because what does the obelisk represent? And if you don't know this by now, I guess maybe you're just new to this kind of information. The story of Isis and Osiris, there is a part of the drama where Seth, hatred and anger came upon him in a red cloud, and he raged like a panther of the south. He tore open the chest, took the body of Osiris, who was dead at that point, but being preserved because Isis wanted to resurrect him later, and rent it into 14 pieces, which, by his divine strength, he scattered up and down the whole length of the Nile so that the crocodiles might eat them. So Osiris, who was dead, gets torn into 14 pieces and scattered across the Nile. Now later, slowly, piece by piece, Isis recovered the fragments of Osiris. So Isis found 13 of the 14 body parts, and it says here, slowly, piece by piece, Isis recovered the fragments of Osiris, and wherever she did so, she formed by magic the likeness of his whole body and caused the priests to build a shrine and perform his funeral rites. And so there were 13 places in Egypt which claimed to be the burial places of Osiris. And then it says one piece only she did not recover, for it had been eaten by certain impious fishes, and their kind were accursed afterwards, and no Egyptian would touch or eat them. Isis, however, did not bury any of the pieces in the places where the tombs and shrines of Osiris stood. She gathered the pieces together, rejoined them by magic, and by magic made a likeness of the missing member so that Osiris was complete. So what does the obelisk represent? It represents the missing member. So again, if you didn't know that, you do now. And anytime you see it around, you'll know that somebody put it there knowing that that's what this represents. And not surprisingly, the occultists also believe that Avocado Persea is a sacred tree of the Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians usually made their wands out of acacia or persea or avocado tree, and the wood cuttings should be used in sacrificial fire. The priestesses of Apollo chewed the leaves and inhaled their smoke to induce a psychic state of mind. However, this author here of this information doesn't recommend anybody doing this because there's all this evidence of avocado leaves being deadly in many animals. It is used today by shamans as herbs that are sacred to Egyptian deities as an offering to them. So now you understand why the avocado company here, Avocados from Mexico, would use this imagery to portray their advertisements. And just an interesting note about avocados as well, some people say it looks like a uterus. And according to this website here, avocados have been shown to balance hormones and prevent cervical cancer. And guess what? Just as it takes exactly 9 months for a baby to fully develop in the womb, it takes an avocado exactly 9 months to grow from a blossom into a ripened fruit. So that's interesting. Let me get to the year 1720 though, which is the year that's written on this throne here. So when you look at the history of Freemasonry, the premier Grand Lodge of England was founded on the 24th of June 1717 as the Grand Lodge of London and Westminster, later calling itself the Grand Lodge of England. And while the first Grand Master was a guy named Anthony Sayer, the more interesting one is George Payne, who actually became Grand Master twice, first in 1718-19 and then again in 1720-21. And it was George Payne who took it upon himself to write the General Regulations of a Freemason, which were recited at his second installation as Grand Master in 1720, which is the year that's on that throne. So who is George Payne? Just a Mason, and a guy who was, again, a Grand Master, who was later appointed as Secretary to the Tax Office in 1732, Head of Secretary in 1743, and according to the architects of 18th century English Freemasonry between 1720 and 1740, which was actually a thesis for a degree of Doctor of Philosophy by Research and History back in 2010 by Richard Andrew Berman, this Grand Master in 1720 is considered the first noble Grand Master. And I'll leave a link to this essay. It's pretty long, but it goes into some of the drama and some of the documents that were destroyed in 1720 that seemed to indicate that the modern Masons of that time, some of them anyway, were trying to connect or maintain, in other words, hand off, the actual mystical school part of it. And the year 1720 seems to be a pivotal year in the history of Freemasonry where it actually changed and the members became abundant and of various levels of society, high levels of society, which included aristocrats, politicians, soldiers, lawyers, and other professionals. Now, this essay also mentions George Payne. Here's what it says, quote, "In terms of strategic and tactical management, the key protagonists at Grand Lodge included George Payne, together with other Grand Officers and influential Freemasons such as George Carpenter and Charles de la Fay. These central characters were connected through three major and partly overlapping political, social, and professional networks to which Anderson was at best only loosely connected: the Middlesex and Westminster benches, the Royal Society and other learned and professional associations, and the government, military, and civil service. Within each ran the threads of pro-Hanoverian politics, a belief in the rights and power of the establishment, and a commitment to the scientific enlightenment." So there you have it from a research paper for a doctorate degree. Now there's also another possibility with the year 1720. Maximilian Hell, a learned astronomer, was born in 1720, and in 1738 he entered the Society of the Jesuits. He was sent to the college at Vienna, where he exhibited a genius for mechanics. He then applied to mathematics with great diligence and became assistant at the observatory belonging to his order. In 1750, he published Argumentum Memoria, Manual Chronologico Genealogico Historicum, which has been translated into various languages. And after several accomplishments, in 1769, at the desire of the King of Denmark, he went to observe the transit of Venus in an island in the frozen ocean. He died in 1792. Hell is to be ranked among those who have rendered essential services to astronomy. So interesting that a guy named Maximilian Hell, who was born in 1720, who was a Jesuit, an astronomer, and who was the guy who, at the request of the King of Denmark, observed the transit of Venus. The connection back to Venus, which brings us back full circle to this video.
I say good afternoon and welcome. Can we lose the masks? Just take them off. How can we be as secret? How can we be a secret society if we can't keep all of our secrets?
Do they know we faked the moon landing?
No.
All right, so again, a little bit of humor here. First off, the guy's wearing the mask and he says welcome, but he's all muffled because he's wearing the mask. So, it probably gets annoying. They take off the mask. And the Grand Master is upset because the secrets keep getting out, right? Oh, how come we can't keep the secrets? And then they start getting into a list of conspiracies, right? Here's what's interesting. The first one is, they know we faked the moon landing, right?
Not yet.
Or that there are only 49 shades of gray?
So this translation is wrong here on the caption. What the lady said there was that there's only 49 shades of gray.
Shades of gray?
They're suspicious, but that's not what I'm talking about.
What about Bigfoot?
Bigfoot's not real and everyone knows that.
And then they bring up Bigfoot.
Did they figure out we deflated the football?
No.
The footballs, obviously, because it's Super Bowl Sunday.
Found a fall guy for that one.
Bigfoot's definitely real.
Bigfoot's definitely real. You got the guy thinking that Bigfoot's real after the Grand Master says it's fake.
Nope.
We'll just have to agree to disagree.
What about Area 51? Do they know about that?
Then they bring up Area 51, and of course, remember with the symbolism from the beginning in connection to the signal, the WOW signal, there's a space connection here.
No.
How about Area 52 to 54?
Stop.
Area 52 to 54, teasing the idea that, oh yeah, Area 51, but there's also 52, 53, 54. Several DUMBs, D-U-M-Bs, deep underground military bases.
Saying areas. No areas plus a number.
Literally hundreds of photos of Bigfoot.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him once. Wait,
See?
Bigfoot? I'm getting it wrong. Paul Bunyan?
Point is, someone is leaking this stuff.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm not looking at you, Anne.
Now, this whole idea of leaking is interesting. In this world now with WikiLeaks, this has to be a diversion at some level of the real stuff that was revealed in the leaks, right? Beyond just the corruption of the money manipulation, the financial markets, and the corrupt exchange of dollars, as we saw from Hillary Clinton and her Clinton Foundation, is the effect on innocent lives of children. Which, just as a side note, if you guys think that there's nothing to this whole Pizzagate thing, consider this. The Radcliffe Foundation, in the section of the website, the Elpida Home for Refugees, when you scroll down to the photos, in one of these photos, you see the wall painting here, and you clearly see this logo right here. What does this represent? Well, according to the FBI themselves, it's a logo that means boy lover. There are renditions of it. It was the logo of Besta's Pizza before the whole Pizzagate thing broke. After it broke, they changed the logo, as everybody should know now. And of course, there's clear evidence that the Radcliffe Foundation has ties to Bill Clinton.
I've seen his footprint when I was
Scott! What they do know is that avocados from Mexico have good fat.
So they know they're healthy.
They know everything.
So part of the commercial messaging here is that the avocado and the healthy aspects of avocado is the biggest conspiracy of all, and that the people actually know it. That's the secret that got out, that it's actually healthy for us, right?
Are you streaming this?
Is that not cool?
No, it's not cool. That's what secret means. It's a secret society.
Oh, wow, secret.
So you got the guy live streaming out of a secret society meeting.
Yeah. Hey, I got a like.
You got a like?
That was me.
I like you too.
At least they don't know about subliminal advertising.
And now they get into subliminal advertising. So this is, again, a total usage of in your face, mocking the audience. Most people are going to say, oh yeah, those stupid conspiracy theorists when they watch this commercial. But they're telling you exactly what they do. There is subliminal advertising.
That's not even a thing, right?
Eat them!
Avocados from Mexico.
So there you have it. There's your hashtag AvoSecrets, Avocados from Mexico breakdown. And look, I personally really like avocados. I think they taste great and they're really healthy for you. So, you know, people who like avocados don't stop eating avocados. But it's not the avocado that's evil here. What's the nefarious thing is these commercials that get shown are going to be shown in front of millions of people all across this country. And a majority of folks are just not going to know or see what's really going on, what they're really being programmed with. And it's with all this celestial stuff, these events that are supposed to happen celestially. And of course, that's something that Jesus even told us, you know, because he said, when these things begin to happen, look up because our redemption draws near. So with God giving the lights in the heavens as for signs and seasons, as it says at the very beginning in Genesis, I do think that they do tell us and give us signs about what's about to happen and how close we are to really big events of human history. So that about wraps it up for this video. If I missed anything, share it in the comment section. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Have an awesome day, guys. God bless.